My fellow Tesla stock investors, we're going to get into where Tesla stock is going next. Are we poised to fall from here? Are we actually going to continue higher? Where do I think Tesla stock could go before the end of this year? And I've been getting a lot of questions lately. Is now a good time, especially what we've seen today, good time to be buying some leaps on Tesla stock? We'll discuss that here in this video. We're going to look at some option positioning from hedge fund and institutional investors on Tesla, but not just that, the broader markets. Look at where our bond yields are at, what our upcoming catalysts are going to be for Tesla. Overall, a jam-packed one for you guys today. The only thing I ask, these videos are free 99, is to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Especially subscribing to the channel helps push these videos out to as many people as possible. For whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm really responds to subscribers on any given video. So if you guys like this video, you think other people would need to hear it as well, subscribe to the channel. Help push this video out to as many people as possible, because I know you want to help your fellow Tesla stock investors succeed, ultimately. Now, some people do not. Like some of your analysts recently have given us the most blatantly false reports. It's been off the charts, like that Jeffries report that was this week, Tony Saganagi just last week, and multiple others within the last couple of weeks or so, the last month or so. They really don't understand Tesla at all. They don't understand what is coming next for Tesla stock. Most of your Tesla analysts have been so concerned with Tesla's pricing, and obviously for good reason, right? Tesla lowering prices is not exactly great for margins. We've seen that effect to Tesla's business, but a lot of these guys won't even acknowledge the fact that Tesla's transaction prices in the US were actually up about 5% in October from September. The first time that has happened on a month-over-month basis in all of 2023. They won't acknowledge that. And we reported on this in the video earlier today, so you heard it there first. But Tesla should actually start to see margin improvement from here. Not just baseline, not just finding that baseline and ultimately bottoming out, but actually start to see some improvement here. A big reason why Tesla stock fell today was some of those inventory discounts on your highest price variants of the Model Y, your Model Y Performance and your Model Y Long Range. But Tesla is obviously doing that for a reason. They're offsetting some of these increases broadly. You've seen with the Model Y, right? The Highland's 12% more expensive in China than the original Model 3, right? Tesla has been offsetting a lot and really raising prices, especially in China, pretty aggressively. There's been 4 price increases in China in the past month, and nobody will acknowledge that. Nobody even thinks that is a factor in Tesla. And I will sit here and tell you that is a good thing. Now, that is not the biggest thing to be watching for, to be expecting in 2024. Some of the bigger things in 2024 are things that I don't think Wall Street is even expecting at all. And this is where some of those longer term leaps, those leap options, a leap is a contract over a year long or with a year left to expiration, could pay out well. Elon Musk made it very clear on the last earnings call. It's all about the monthly payment. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People don't care if they're financing a $100,000 vehicle if it costs $500 a month, or if they're financing a $25,000 vehicle that costs $500 a month. The only difference is less money goes to principal per month and more money goes to interest per month, depending on the lower price and the higher monthly payment. Right? A lower financed vehicle, like a $25,000 vehicle, you're paying $500 a month on, just more interest or more money is going towards interest than to principal. $100,000 vehicle, theoretically, if you finance that for $500 a month, more of that is going to principal than to interest. That is really, depicted from interest rates. And It's clear interest rates are coming down in 2024. We're currently expecting 1% of rate cuts for 2024. But the data we just got today with durable goods orders suggest that maybe we're going to get a lot more rate cuts. Maybe the economy is really deteriorating faster than what we expect. And you just posted a negative 5.4% durable goods orders number for last month. In fact, if the economy does deteriorate faster than expectations, we could get more than 4 rate cuts, which should allow Tesla to actually raise prices broadly across all of their models across the entire globe. This, I think, is not even on most of the bulls' radar for Tesla stock in 2024, let alone the bears. Bears are not expecting this. Bulls are not expecting this. I am expecting this. Elon Musk made it very clear on the last earnings call. It's really all about that monthly payment, not necessarily the price of the vehicles. And that's why Elon has had to cut prices for all Teslas, because that monthly payment is increasing so much over the past really 2 years or so now. Now, next Thursday, we are going to have our next biggest catalyst. That is the Cybertruck Delivery event. Now, there's a lot of, implications to that. We don't know a lot of the specs of the Cybertruck. We don't know what the pricing is going to be for the Cybertruck. We know a couple things, like what the production capacity is going to look like in 2024. Up to, I believe it was 125,000 Cybertrucks could be produced. We just don't have a lot of clarity on that. So coming on November 30th, that's going to be the next big catalyst for Tesla stock. Especially if the Cybertruck is priced where a lot of people think, where Kelly Blue Book is predicting around 50,000 for the low end variant. That's going to be maybe some good news. Now, even as high as 60 or 65,000 for the lowest priced variant of the Cybertruck is probably going to be seen as good news as well. Theoretically, the higher the better, because that would mean Tesla would have confidence in demand for the Cybertruck at those price points. But it's clear the highest end variant of the Cybertruck is probably going to be 80,000 around there. The lowest price variant could be around 50,000. And then any other new details that we get surrounding the Cybertruck is going to be that much more impactful to Tesla stock. And again, that catalyst is on November 30th, the Cybertruck Delivery event, where 10 Cybertrucks will go to customers, presumably for the first quarter or so. It's going to be for Tesla employees alone. I do think it's hard to tell if Tesla stock is going to react positively coming next Thursday on this delivery event. I think if we do get a positive reaction to Tesla stock, it's going to be based on the pricing of the Cybertruck more than really anything else. But I do think the Cybertruck is a longer-term positive catalyst. For one, obviously, we know the halo effect is going to be very large with the Cybertruck and the Tesla brand. But Elon Musk has massively reset expectations around the Cybertruck, saying the Cybertruck is going to be really a drag on the business for the next, 12 to 18 months or so. Nobody's expecting good things out of the Cybertruck, and especially for Tesla's margins themselves. But the higher average selling price Tesla is going to see, if the ramp does go smoother than expected, could actually lead to, margin improvements and good things for Tesla. And I don't think Wall Street is currently expecting that. But if I were to say here in the near term, the Cybertruck Delivery event is probably going to be a positive catalyst. You could see Tesla on a technical basis is fundamentally looking very strong after hitting that low at $179.07 per share. You're sitting right here under your 50-day moving average. It would be good to see Tesla above that 50-day moving average today. That did not happen, but you've still been hitting higher lows, especially intraday for a while now. So that looks pretty good. And I would imagine following the Cybertruck Delivery event, Tesla stock could break out into the 250s, if not potentially higher than that. Now, I had set my price prediction this week around 250. We got close. We got into the 240s. We got to about 245, and then we did get some rejection here. It looks like this range in between the 50 and 100-day moving average has been quite a bit of rejection as of lately, and we're under that right now, but that could even change coming throughout the rest of this week. Now, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow, stocks are going to be closed for trading because of Thanksgiving. Shout out to Thanksgiving and Turkey Day, my favorite holiday out there. Just food and family, good times overall. And then Friday, it's going to be a strange day because stocks will trade, but bonds will be closed. I believe bond futures will be open until about noon. So we'll kind of know what bonds are doing that day. But in this marketplace where any reaction in the bond market is giving stocks a reaction, it does make the situation a little bit more difficult. Right now, the current retail leveraged open bull/bear positions, if you look at the SPY, that is 64% bearish and 36% bullish. The Dow is 67% bearish, 33% bullish. So there are a lot of bears still here on this market. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think tactically from now until the end of this year, there's not a whole lot to go off of if you are a bear, right? Rates are going lower. It looks like the economy is at least to some degree holding up. It doesn't look like you're heading into some kind of imminent recession. At least that is what the data is saying to us. I just don't see the argument for stocks to decline meaningfully from here. I think there is starting to be a broader participation in this market. If this was the Magnificent Seven over the summertime, obviously I was not that bullish then. And, you know, the outlook for rates was 1 to 2 rate cuts in 2024, but towards the end of the year. Now you're looking at rate cuts potentially as soon as March, if not May. And that's what the probabilities, you know, were as of the last couple of days ago. So I just don't see a big reason to be bearish right now, and that makes me tactically bullish from now until the end of this year. And as you can see from this chart, this is a chart of the total of the 81 central banks across the globe and rate hikes compared to cuts. And hikes back in October of 2023, while cuts finally started to win out the hikes. And now in November as well, there's almost a 2-to-1 ratio for cuts compared to hikes. So you are starting to get central banks globally turning more bullish, if you will, lowering rates instead of continuing to raise them. Tesla's option activity today was pretty dang bullish. 753 orders totaling $1.57 billion with a positive order value of 80%. That's absolutely insane. If you look at retail, the total numbers were 65% of the volume on the call side and 35% of the volume on the put side. So there was a lot of people that were pretty dang bullish today on Tesla stock. Considering the stock was down about 3.5%, that's actually pretty crazy. If we look at the bubble chart on Tesla stock, Tesla option activity here for December 15th, today the put call ratio for volume was 0.62. So almost 2 calls being bought for every 1 put being bought. The put call ratio as far as open interest does show slightly more puts compared to calls, but there's a lot of activity around the 300 call with 21,000 for open interest and 5,000 for volume today. The 260 call has 24,000 for open interest, volume of 8,000 today. And the 250 call has 46,000 for open interest with volume today of 12,000. Again, this is expiring by December 15th. So these are pretty bullish bets. If you factor in the amount these contracts are and the actual break evens here, I mean, yeah, you're looking at some very bullish bets here. You can add at least a couple of dollars to these strikes to get your actual break even for December 15th. Tesla stock is also one of the most heavily shorted stocks. Well, it is the most heavily shorted stock in the entire world with $19 billion worth of short positions, only 3% of the float being sold short. So I think there's probably going to be a short squeeze at some point in 2024. It's hard to say if you could see a short squeeze towards the end of this year. I think a short squeeze happens by proving everyone wrong, and I think Tesla is going to do that. Now, I think from this point to the end of this year, it's very clear. There's a lot of money on the sidelines right now. There's a record amount of money in money market funds, in treasuries, in cash that is under allocated to stocks. Now, I think if you are an investor, period, right? You're just looking for a good return. You have to be in stocks that are interest rate sensitive, that will benefit from rates going down in 2024. Markets are forward looking. So they're looking at stocks right now and they're saying, hey, who's going to benefit from rates going lower? Where should we invest our capital? And Tesla is by far the stock that you would want to be invested in. High quality, right? There's no chance of Tesla going bankrupt, reasonably speaking, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner, but you have a level of safety with Tesla that you don't have in small and mid-cap stocks. 90% of Tesla's business is done with financing, so it's very sensitive to interest rates. Tesla is expanding their business rapidly and aggressively. Tesla has a fortress of balance sheet, has virtually no debt, $26 billion of cash on hand. That's great. But Tesla's margins are going to improve as well. So that should mean more money to the bottom line as rates do go lower and as people can finance Tesla vehicles more cheaply, right? And then you have the aspect of, Tesla can go to the bond market as well when rates go lower and will help make financing Tesla's investments even cheaper. So I think it's hands down, guys. 2024, Tesla stock is priced for a really bad scenario as of right now, like 22% delivery growth rates. I think you're going to be 35, 40, 45% for growth rates for 2023. And I think the margin perception is way wrong as well. Wall Street is only expecting margins to increase like 2 to 3% in 2024. I think margins could increase a lot more than that in 2024. I think Tesla, once rates actually do go lower, is going to have a rapid acceleration of margin, right? Of auto gross margins in its business that Wall Street is really just not expecting right now. And I think Wall Street as a whole, right? Retail investors can position their money around quickly, but Wall Street, as big money is concerned, like with billions and billions of dollars, they take a while to move around their capital. They don't move around stocks and billions of dollars quickly. And I think that's what you're starting to see. It's a great shift of capital. And that is what we have seen as of recently that I think will continue. Now, again, markets are forward looking. So after the Cybertruck Delivery event, if the stock does go higher, I think a lot of that is just anticipation of 2024 and lower rates. I personally think Tesla stock is going to blow away everyone's expectations, and I think the stock could hit new all-time highs in 2024 as you do see that rapid acceleration of Tesla's business on all fronts, on margins, on deliveries, everything. And that's not what Wall Street is currently expecting. Now, I do think some of that will get priced in from now until the end of this year. And I think Tesla stock could make its way to about $300 per share heading into the end of this year. That looks pretty probable to me. Now, as far as a question I've been asked a lot, what about long-term options with Tesla? I think Tesla could hit new all-time highs in 2024, but you have to understand, or at least expect, Tesla to raise prices broadly for their products. You need to expect a smooth launch of the Cybertruck, and you need to expect rates are going to fall more than expectations. That will allow Tesla to raise prices. Along those same lines, you need to expect margins are going to improve as well. If you expect all of those things, I think some longer term options on Tesla looks very attractive. Now, longer term options are harder for markets to price because you never know what's going to happen over the next, 24, 36 months or so. So the longer the better. I think those longer term options, like 2025 options, could be really underpriced if all things, that we're talking about here in this video do ultimately happen for Tesla. That's something I've been looking at getting into with Tesla recently, is longer term options, because I do think the situation is way too pessimistic on Tesla. I think that is to your benefit. The safest thing to do, relatively speaking, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner, keep that in mind, don't listen to what I say, but is actually buying the shares. So I've bought a lot of shares recently. I have not pulled the trigger on long-term options, but that is something I am certainly looking at. Long-term Treasury yields recently have also been falling from 5% just as of the end of October to about 4.41% here on the day today. So that is some great news. And I think from now until the end of this year, it's really going to be all about these Treasury yields and how markets start to expect, Fed rate cuts and Fed policy is going to be. If we start to expect more rate cuts at least sooner, then that is going to continue to be a positive factor for our markets. I also think there is a reasonable degree of, unforecasted catalyst that could come for Tesla as well, like that entry into India, potentially a licensing deal for FSD that could be coming as well. And those are really your Hail Mary kind of catalyst for Tesla. If Tesla came out tomorrow and said a licensing deal for FSD is happening, or they've agreed with, let's say, Toyota or someone else that does not have a software of their own, well, that would probably jump Tesla stock 10, 15, 20% in a single day, and probably have a much larger rally to go from there. So I think a licensing deal for FSD, it could be coming in 2024, and that would just make those options print a lot more money. From now until the end of this year, things that we can quantify, things that we can see right now, it looks obvious. Tesla stock is probably going higher from here. The one negative thing you want to be watching for is the possibility of a recession. If data starts to come in that supports we are heading into a recession, that a recession is happening like sooner rather than later, that's going to be negative. And I do expect a pullback based on recession fears at some point in 2024. And that's why I'm keeping a lot of cash on the sidelines to be able to buy the dip when that does come. But I really don't think it's from now until the end of this year. Obviously, I could be wrong. Anything can happen. But those are my expectations. So what am I doing right now? I'm holding all of my Tesla position. When Tesla pulls back, that's when I tend to go all in again on Tesla. Haven't sold, nothing like that. And as Tesla does fall as well, those longer term options are going to look a lot more attractive as well. The Cybertruck Delivery event next week, I'm very excited about that. I think the pricing of the Cybertruck is probably going to be the biggest catalyst in and of itself. The higher, the better, you could say, because that would mean more confidence from Tesla at those certain price points. And it really allows Tesla to lower prices, right? Let's say the lowest price variant of the Cybertruck is $60,000. Well, if Tesla needed to lower prices, they could. If the lowest price variant of the Cybertruck is like $50,000, then it's going to be a lot harder to cut prices. So I think that is also something to pay attention to. That is really your next big catalyst that will be coming out, and that is next Thursday for the Cybertruck Delivery event. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.